Alrighty. So today's message is on cheating. Okay, so not in the sense of a relationship, not that kind of cheating, uh, in the sense of playing a game. So I don't know about you, but when I play a game with my kids or with anyone for that matter, if they're cheating, it really gets under my skin. It's really annoying. You're playing Monopoly or cards or, whatever game it might be, and someone's not playing by the rules. Well, we think that's incredibly unfair, don't we? Um, so let's use Monopoly as an example. Let's say you're playing by the rules, and every time you pass go, you collect £200 or $200 or whatever. But your opponent, they collect £200 every time they roll the dice. So no matter whether they get a one or a six, whatever, wherever they land, they collect £200. Now, very, very quickly, you're going to lose that game. You'll probably throw your teddies out or walk away before you even get to the end of the game, before you even run out of money. Because you'll be like, do you know what? I'm not playing with someone who's cheating so blatantly and so unfairly. Okay. So you'll be left with nothing and they'll have everything and you're offended and they're, I don't know, laughing or whatever. So my idea on this is that we're going around our lives with a bunch of restrictive rules and other people basically have different rules for their life. And it's not until we start questioning our own rules and thinking, hang on a minute, that rule that I've created because we've created our own rules. Okay, we think we haven't. We think these are the general rules for life, but they're actually not because people are living by different morals, by different guidance, by different evidence, by different experiences in their life. So they're walking around with a different set of rules. So it's almost no wonder that there's this group of successful people, this group of kind of middling people, and this group of maybe not so middling, who are not doing so well. Okay, and everyone kind of falls into any one of those categories. And the people who are successful, okay, who are making more money, who have nicer relationships with partners or kids or whatever, okay, they're living by their sets of rules, and the people in the middle are living by their sets of rules, and the people who are at the bottom are living by a different set of rules. Okay, so if we were to break those rules, we'd think it's cheating. And because we have this kind of I would assume everyone's similar to me. They have a problem with cheating. Nobody likes a cheater. Okay, because we have a problem with cheating and breaking rules, we don't like to break our own rules. We don't like to change the rules that we've created for our game of life. So that's perhaps where a lot of our resistance to change comes in. It's because we've created a bunch of rules, and because we don't like cheaters, we don't like breaking rules, we're then unable to change the rules of our life and therefore move up to a more successful version of our own life. Okay. So there are no actual rules to life. Okay. Perhaps other than being a morally good person. Don't kill people. Don't intentionally go out and hurt someone. Those kinds of things. Okay. Don't be intentionally rude. Okay. And those kinds of things. Though, moral rules, fine. Okay. But apart from that, there are really no rules. And even those rules, they are quite easily broken. People get murdered, people get killed. They're not law, they're laws. Because if we, did all those, if everyone did all those kinds of things, there wouldn't be very many people left. But um, which generally, as good people, we're not going to go out and do that stuff. Got through that page rather quicker than I thought. That's cool. It doesn't matter. We're not on a time here. So everyone's living in their own different world of rules. So learning what I learned about neurology, about nutrition, about the body, about fascia and tendons and all the brain stuff, it almost feels like cheating, okay? Because the results I often get with people, and it's granted it's not every time, but the results I often get with people for aches and pains, particularly the kind of the more minor stuff, tend to be a lot faster than other modalities of treatment. Not all of them, granted, and it's not like instant. Hmm. I'll maybe come on to that question in a minute. Okay. So it kind of feels like cheating. To know that stuff and to be able to work in a different way, it can almost feel a bit like cheating. Um, because I'm not playing by the same rules as, say, a physiotherapist or a massage therapist. I've got a different set of rules. So therefore I can get different results. Okay. So I've learned all this stuff and I've taught a lot of what I've learned to you guys. Okay. And it's kind of all there, particularly in the earlier videos from 4 or 5 years ago. It's a lot of it is there. So if you've got the muscle testing, you've got um, a kind of to an extent a method of how to kind of use that muscle testing knowledge to find out what's going on in the body so that you can then go, okay, right, where do I need to poke or prod or do or think to alter this knee pain? Because we all know that a knee pain is not necessarily a knee pain. It's coming from somewhere else. It's coming from an emotion. It's coming from a thought. It's coming from a rule that we've created. Okay. Yeah. So the kind of the scientific backup to the knowledge that I've learned, because it's all certainly the neurological stuff, okay, all the stuff about the brain, all the stuff about the body, that comes backed with science. There are scientifically provable things going on there that kind of back this stuff up. So, which means we can create a belief about it, which means we can create rules about it and kind of take the step from kind of normal everyday knowledge from, say, physiotherapy and what we know about health. And we can make that, it's kind of a small jump to going, oh, yeah, we can use muscle testing and we can find these things out. It's not such a huge leap. The huge leap is maybe it's not huge, okay? Um, the next leap is the one where we can go, I can make changes just through changing my emotions and thoughts. I don't need to poke my body. I don't need to, I mean, not necessarily. Okay. You might still need to. This is where the problem lies. Action is still required, usually. You can't just necessarily sit there and make everything go away, although it does help because it's helping us to relax, which changes things and how our body works. So rules are just limitations. Okay. And depending on how many rules and what rules we have, we either have a very narrow set of rules and quite a tight set of limitations, or we have a broader set of rules and a broader set of limitations, but there's still limitations. So I want you to allow yourself to cheat. Now, I want you to actually kind of do this practically, just to see how it feels. Okay, so play a game of solitaire with actual cards and cheat. Cheat until you win. Okay, because I guarantee you will win if you cheat. Okay, so cheat until you win. Okay, often a lot of people think maybe the fun of the game is in not winning every time. In and I get that because it's you almost don't want to win every time. Okay, but in the case of our health, in the case of our finances, in the case of our relationships, why would we want to lose? Why would we want to lose? So it's almost like we need to practice the muscle of getting what we want. Okay, and a very simple way of practicing that would be to, and it's not going to hurt anyone. It's not going to, you're not swindling anyone out of money. You're literally playing a game by yourself, and cheat your way to victory. Um, I'm going to add to this as well. So ask yourself this question. How do you describe me? Let's say it's in one word, okay? And I've heard many words to describe me, some of them good, some of them not so good. Um, so if I can get a comment, and Abby, I will come back to what you said in a moment. Different. Okay, we can go with that one. I'll just give it a moment for another one. Hopefully, there's another one. Yeah, one word to describe what it is I do, particularly the kind of the hands-on. Uh, everyone, yeah, everyone here's had unique. Okay, cool. I like that. Um, so some of the words that I've extraordinary, nice. I really like that one. That's fantastic. So some of the other words that I've been called quirky, yeah, cool, uh, are wizard, Jedi, and voodoo. Okay, so a lot of people, particularly when they first meet me, uh, those are the kinds of things that they might say. It's like, what is this weird voodoo that you do? Okay, wow, you're some kind of body wizard or something. Okay, if you don't have that rule about yourself, I'm a wizard, I'm a Jedi master of the body, I'm an extraordinary whatever. Okay, extraordinary mum, an extraordinary dad, an extraordinary person in some way, shape, or form. Then you're not going to be able to do the same things. Okay, so you almost need to create the rule of I am just like that person. Okay, the person who you want to be like. Okay, not necessarily me, but um, I'm an extraordinary person. Okay, I'm a unique person. Okay, I do things differently, but I'm still a success. Okay, so by describing me as something and maybe yourself as something different, something other than what the way you describe me, maybe you won't be able to do what I do for yourself because I've taught you how to do it for yourself. You can't do it because you're not describing yourself the same way as me. You've got a different rule. Okay, so the rule that you've got for you is I can't do this, or I'm not like Pete. I'm not as skilled as he is. I'm not as quirky or extraordinary as he is in this particular thing. And you don't need to be. Okay? You don't need to be. Okay? So, yes, let's come back to before I lose Abby's thing. That's, yeah. So, what I was saying earlier, there's a group of successful people who have some rules. And when I say successful, okay, it's kind of your version of success. It's not necessarily financial. It's not, it could be in any area of life, okay, where you feel like you're not doing as well as you should be. Okay, so that's my kind of definition of success. It's where you feel like you're failing. You want success in that, okay, because you've already got success in some areas, okay, but maybe not as big as you'd like, okay, or and maybe in some areas you feel like you're failing. So suggesting that our rules are wrong and other people are doing well, okay. Um, Yes, I'm saying we could have rules that would help us to change our lives faster and easier. Okay? We also have rules that are keeping us stuck and not able to change. So it's a little bit about finding out what rules, what beliefs and rules, kind of similar. What beliefs and rules am I living by that are not allowing me to succeed? And in the way that you want to succeed, and what rules and beliefs have I got that are keeping me stuck, keeping me down, keeping me small, keeping me in whatever way, shape, or form. Okay. So if everything is perfect just the way we are, why do we have to change our rules? Now, kind of covered this a little bit last week. Um, we have a perfect capability inside of us. There is perfection inside of us, but we cover it over with our rules. We cover it over with our beliefs. We cover it over with our what our ego thinks is right. Okay, so we've got the ego, which is telling us we're bad at something. It's telling us you're no good at something. It's telling us you've got horrible hair or a complete lack of hair, or um, it's telling us we're not smart enough. It's telling us we're not pretty enough. It's telling us we're not worthy of a promotion. We're not worthy of X amount of money. We're not worthy of a perfect relationship with a partner or a great relationship with a child. It's telling us all these things. Okay, so these are rules we've created, subconscious rules that we've learned through our own behavior, we've learned through habit, we've learned through TV, we've learned through lessons we got from our parents or the people who brought us up, our aunts, our uncles, whoever it might be. Okay, friends, excuse me. So we are, we have a perfect capability, okay, is in there, but it's covered over with a bunch of other stuff which leads to our life having struggle, which leads to our life having aches and pains, leads to all these difficult things going on in our life because we've created rules. Right? Yeah, no, that's no problem for missing last week. It happens. Okay. Um, so yes, so let me just read through my notes again. Yeah, okay. So this was what I was going to cover anyway. So this is kind of a little bit of a reminder of last week anyway, but this is adding a bit from last week. So if we think about one of our main problems, okay, our main challenges in life, okay, again, could be money, it could be a relationship, it could be job prospects, could be our body in some way, shape, or form, um, something you feel like you're not achieving that you really want, bring that to mind, and then think about how would I feel if I have resolved that problem? So for that relationship that wasn't going so great, what if it's maybe not suddenly got better, but what if it got better to a point that you were incredibly happy with it? How would that feel? Okay, it's the feeling that we're going for. Okay, how would that feel? Okay, so that's step one. Step two, and I want you to do this. Okay, so maybe not right now, okay, but in the next few days, once you've seen this video, if anyone's watching it on replay or if anyone's watching this on replay who's here tonight, what would be the sentence or two that you would text to me or email me when you have achieved it? Okay, so you have the emotion, you have a short message that you would send to me, possibly somebody else. Okay, but if you're so step three is really, I want you to send it to me because if I know about it and if I know those feelings, those words that you're going to say, I can join in. I can feel it too. I can feel what I would feel when people succeed, people I work with succeed. Okay, because I love it when my clients succeed. I love it when my clients get, okay, when you guys and other people I see outside of here, I love it when they get their goal. I love it when they get the promotion. I love it when they get the new job. Okay, I love it when they I love it when they get sacked, okay, or get made redundant because it gives them a chance to go out and find the thing that they actually want. Okay, I love it when they send me messages that they've changed their relationship with somebody. Okay, those kinds of stories and messages are amazing for me. So if I can get those messages in advance, hey, I can start working on my feelings and add that to yours. Okay, and then we're working more as a team. Okay, and then that's going to add value to your statement that you sent me. Okay, so it's one or two sentences that you would send me, and I want you to actually send it to me. Okay, and then I can work even more between these sessions to help you to achieve that. Okay, so if I feel it here, we're gonna, and you feel it there, we're gonna get some more results. Okay. So our job today. Yeah. What feeling or emotion is generated by resolving the problem? So you put yourself into the future. Okay. As we know, as I've talked about, there is no past, present, and future. There is only now. Okay. So anything that I remember from the past, okay, let's say it's a bad event I remember from the past, okay, and I start thinking about it. Oh, that person really annoyed me. I'm going to start feeling annoyed or angry or irritated or sad now. Okay, even though the event was months, years, decades ago. Okay, we can do the same into the future. Okay, we often call that anxiety because we often think about our problems in the future and go, right, okay, I've really got that thing to do and I've got that thing to do and I've got that thing to do and oh God, it's all getting on top of me. Okay, and now I feel anxiety now, even though that thing isn't even here yet because it's tomorrow, it's next week, it's next year. Okay, so what we're going to do is put ourselves into a future where the issue we have is gone. Okay, it's solved. Okay, the money is there, the pain is gone, the um, the relationship is healed, the promotion has come, the extra money, the extra happiness, the being able to do the things that you're not doing right now, you're able to do them. Okay, so let's say, I don't know, let's say it's knee pain or back pain, okay, and you haven't been able to do a certain form of exercise that you really love to do. Okay, can you see yourself doing it? How do you feel when you're doing it? Okay. Do you feel calm? Do you feel excited? Do you feel ecstatic? Do you feel joyful? Okay. It could be any kind of emotion. It doesn't really matter what it is. It's going to be a positive one of some description. Okay. Proud of yourself, whatever. It's about feeling that feeling and then seeing the result. Okay. Seeing the result. What are you able to do? Are you hugging the person who you had a problem with? Okay. Are you, um, hiking up mountains because your back pain is gone and you haven't been able to hike up mountains because you haven't been able to stick a rucksack on your back and go and hike up mountains? Have you been able to run 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers without stopping? What is it? Okay. And then what do you say to me or to somebody else? Okay. But if it involves me, I can really kind of get into that a little bit more. So that's what I want. Okay. Is that making sense? Because it feels like cheating. Okay, I'm going to rewind back to um, the point I started with. It feels like cheating to go, right, is all I need to do is think about the problem, think about the emotion that I would have if that problem was gone, and then create a very short story, a very short sentence that indicates that my problem is gone. Because that feels like cheating to me. Okay, so we need to, are you thinking about the result? Okay, are you thinking about the result or the current situation? Is there some kind of result? Yeah. Is there some kind of result that ends up with a happy or a at least good ending? Maybe it's relief. If there's some kind of stressful event going on in life and kind of there is no real kind of good result, but to have it finished is relieving. It's like there's just this sense of relaxation. Okay, that stressful thing is now gone. It's like, oh, that's all resolved now. I feel all the weight is lifted. Okay. So it's not necessarily that something outstanding has happened. It might be that just all that stress is evaporated. So this is changing the rules. Okay. As I said, action may still be required. Okay. So we've got one action of feeling the feeling of the end result. Okay. But if it already have happened, having a short conversation or a text message or a hug or some kind of physical indicator within the imagination that the result has happened. And yes, there may be other actions to take, but that's the first step. Okay. And if we can take that first step regularly, as in daily, preferably multiple times a day, of having the end result solved, at the very least, you're going to feel a bit happier. Okay. That's you're going to have practiced feeling happy or feeling relieved or feeling peaceful or feeling calm dozens more times. Because how many times in the day do you actually feel peaceful, calm, and relaxed? If you don't specifically set time in your day to feel peaceful, calm, and relaxed, or some kind of elevated emotion, how many times in the day does that actually happen? Probably not that many. Okay, maybe sometimes. Okay, it depends on our life and our lifestyle and how we think. Okay, so at the very least, you've got more practice of feeling a way that you would prefer to feel instead of stressed, instead of sad, instead of in pain, instead of ill, instead of whatever else it might be. Okay. And it feels like cheating. Okay. And I want you to think about this and go, right, this is not a difficult thing to do. This is an easy thing to do. Okay. There's three steps. And the third one is a bonus because it's texting me. Okay. That's adding me into it. That's doing something else. Okay. But the first two steps are absolutely, they're necessary. The third step is less necessary, but I would like you to do it so that I can kind of join in and add my efforts to your results. Okay. So we want to play a different game. Okay. We want to change our rules. Okay. Changing the rules is not cheating. Okay. There are no rules to life, only the rules that we have created through our thoughts, through our experience, through our friends, through our family, through whatever reason that we've created these rules. Okay. And the rules were there to keep us safe. Okay. The rules were there to protect us from something for some reason. Okay. And that's why we've got rules. Okay. But the majority of our rules are keeping us stuck, are keeping us living the same day, day in, day out. It's like Groundhog Day. Okay. How many days would you say are different in your week? Okay. Compared to a week previous, compared to the week before that and the week before that. If you were to look back week by week by week by week by week, hey, apart from maybe when you're on holiday, virtually every day and virtually every week is probably going to be virtually the same. There's going to be some variation, but there's going to be some overall, it's going to be fairly similar. And it's fairly similar because we've kept the same rules for so long. So it's time to change the rules. The rules of my life now are different. Okay. You get to pick them. Okay. You get to pick them. And it's through our emotions that we can change them. Okay. Cool. I don't know. That's fired me up. I think that's is very important. It's very important stuff. Okay. So we're going to work on allowing ourselves to change the rules. Okay. This might go different routes, but that's the initial plan anyway. Okay. So you close your eyes and get yourself into a nice, relaxed state. Take a few breaths. Just relax your head, relax your shoulders, relax your arms. Relax your tummy, your thighs, lower legs, and feet. Take another deep breath. Okay, consider the act of cheating as if in a game, okay, not relationship style cheating, but in a game cheating, breaking the rules. And just recognize the feeling of what it would feel like for you if you were to start breaking rules. How much resistance do you have to playing a game and just making up the rules as you go along? Like loading the dice, having a weighted dice at craps or some other dice game. Don't know why I thought of craps. Making sure the dice always come up in your favor so that you win big. Okay. So we're already walking around with loaded dice. We're walking around with the deck stacked against us for the most part. And because we don't like to cheat, we don't want to cheat. Just allow yourself to feel the feeling of, I'm cheating. What does it feel like? Does it feel heavy? Does it feel naughty? Does it feel like you're going to be arrested if you broke certain different rules? Obviously, ones that we wouldn't break. Okay. Okay, our rules are simply things that we've created to attempt to keep us safe. But what these rules have ended up doing is keep us limited, kept us stuck with aches and pains, certain patterns going on in our life, maybe a financial ceiling that no matter how hard you try is unable to break through. Same with health. You've hit a certain ceiling of health and you're unable to break through that. Again, similar with weight or putting on muscle, changing our vision, etc., etc. We've created rules. Okay, we've been told by people we trust that these things can't change, they're only going to get worse with age. You have to work really hard to earn more. You have to be lucky. And then you say, I'm not a lucky person. Okay, and that's a rule you've got. Okay, I'm not lucky. I can't change. It's really hard to change. It takes a lot of effort. I don't have the time. Don't have the resources, whatever kind of resources those might be. Okay, so be willing to cheat. And cheating is changing the rules so that they are in your favor. Hmm. Is that a line from Hunger Games? May the odds ever be in your favor. May the rules ever be in your favor. Okay. You get to make the rules for your life. And notice again, if you go back to a little game in your mind, and you're cheating at it. Okay, you're absolutely trouncing the other person at this game. Okay, but because you're cheating, that's going to make you feel bad, most likely. Again, just allow yourself to feel it. Allow yourself to feel that emotion of feeling like a cheat, because you have to move past it to be able to change the rules. Okay, and in real life, in our new rules, you're not hurting anyone. You're not actually cheating anyone. The only person who's been kind of cheated out of anything is you. So there's no other person who's going to be at a loss because of you changing your rules. If anything, there is only going to be greater gain in changing the rules for you and all people around you. There is no loss here in changing your rules. What does it feel like to have changed the rules in your favor? What emotion or what sensation, what do you feel? Is it relief? Relief from stress? Is it some happiness? Is it some joy? Whatever it is for you, that's good. Something along those lines: happiness, peaceful, joy, relieved, calm. I can change my rules. In fact, it's not even cheating to change the rules. It just feels like it is. Again, focus on the feeling and just feel that. That's the state. That's the feeling that we want to be in more regularly. It's not going to be there all the time. There's still going to be things that get under our skin. There's still going to be things that knock us off balance. Things are still going to occur in our life. But it's how quickly can we get back to this type of feeling? How quickly can I get back to relief or calm or peace or joy or happiness? And that thing that has knocked us off, that event, that person, that situation, maybe it's something kind of unknown. It doesn't need, it's not necessarily obvious. That's a sign that we have a rule, a belief that perhaps we're unaware of, that we can change. If something is going wrong in my life, something that is taking me away from peace, then I know I have an incorrect belief. I know I have an incorrect rule going on. You may or may not be able to identify it. You bring yourself back to what if this problem was already resolved? How would I feel? What would I be saying or doing if this was already fixed? If this thing was already repaired? Just stay in the emotion that you've cultivated. I'm allowed to change any rule, any belief to one that supports me, one that makes my life easier. I don't need to believe that it's hard to make money. I don't need to believe that it's hard to be a dad or a mum. I don't need to believe that being social is difficult or dealing with some situation in life is hard. I don't need to believe that. Just take a deep breath and relax again and stay in the emotion of having all the problems resolved. All the rules that you've created that needed to be broken and changed can be changed. Life is not Monopoly or Trivial Pursuit or some other board game. You don't need to follow a set of rules, with the perhaps the exception of be a nice person. Be a decent human being. That's about the only rule there needs to be. Okay. Perhaps the next rule should be look after yourself. You are the number one priority in your life. You are worthy of great things. You are deserving of all of your desires, whatever those may be. It's not about hard work. It's not about effort and strain and struggle. It's not about suffering to get it. as I said, it still is likely to take some kind of action or actions. But if those thoughts, those ideas come from a state of stress, you're going to get more stress. You still may get there, but it'll be a stressful get there. If those actions come from a state of calm, you'll get actions that create calmness, okay, that will create ease. Okay, in a moment, we're going to open our eyes. Just remain in the state that you created of peace, of calm, of happiness, whatever it may have been. So take that deep breath and open your eyes and just feel that it's done. Feel that the rules have changed now. The rules have got easier, and that's going to affect your actions. So, just as a final reminder, what I would like you to do is two things, okay? Cheat at a card game, okay, or a simple game that you can play on your own. Cheat at it. Make sure that you win, okay? It will feel weird, it will feel boring, it will feel strange because you're used to playing these games and struggling and not winning every time, and maybe only winning 10% of the time. Like solitaire, how many times do you actually win? Not very many. Probably 1 in 15, maybe even 1 in 20. And you don't win solitaire all that often. So play it and win it. I would cheat at Sudoku Online and Wordle. Amazing. Okay, cheat and feel good about cheating. Okay, in something that doesn't harm anyone. Fantastic. Um, so that's part one. Cheat at a game. Um, then think about a challenge in your life. Maybe it's not the biggest one, could be the biggest one, but maybe it's one of a slightly smaller challenge. How would you feel if you already had the result that you desired in that challenge? The problem is solved. The relationship is happy. The money is there. The fitness, the health, the joint pain is gone. Okay. Whatever it is. Okay. You've already achieved repairing your body. So that's then going to give us an emotion. That's going to give us relief. That's going to give us calm. It's going to give us happiness. It's going to give us whatever it is. Okay. What would you text or email to me? Okay. Possibly to somebody else, but using me because then I can add my thoughts of success and happiness and other emotions that I can generate onto your success. Okay. So I want you to send that to me so that I can help further with helping you to achieve your goals. Okay. Cool. Thank you for joining tonight. I really appreciate that you're here, and it's been a bit of a muddle for the last probably since early August with different days, weeks missing here and there. So I do really apologize for all of that. Hopefully, Monday I will be able to stick to, with perhaps the exception of going holiday again in half term. Um, but as a general rule, Mondays are going to be great for me. So if hopefully that's going to be better for attendance here on a Monday night as well. So it's always helpful to have questions, to have comments, to have all this kind of stuff. So I really appreciate you coming on. And if you can make it, you can make it. And if you can't, obviously, you're unable to every now and again. That's absolutely fine. Cool. So thank you again for joining. Yeah, please make sure you get last week's one because there's bits of last week's that will help. Um, with today's. Okay, cool. Amazing, amazing. Right, cheerio, guys. I'll see you again next week.